Good morning, all. Today we are going to start with the new topic, which is curves and surfaces. So, till now we have gone for a number of surfaces or number of images like line, polygon, circle, ellipse. So they are following a particular parametric equation, and we were able to properly put them in algorithm and generate them. With the help of some equations, the input and output were taken, and thus we were able to generate those those images. But when we go further and we talk about animations or generating more and more images, rendering the images on the display devices, it takes another call to render the dynamic images, which may involve the curvical surfaces. They may have sharp changes, which may not be parametric, which may not be put in a particular equation, and thus we will be not able to put them in a particular algorithm and see them. Like any curve, the curve can be of any type. It can be of this type, it can be of this type, it can be of this type, anything can come out. So how to put these things into a proper equation is a difficult part, and that's what we are going to see, how to handle these kind of things, how to handle these curves which are generating, or many a times when two planes intersect, when let us say that you have a cone defined, and says you are slicing it from this particular point. If you are slicing it from this particular point, there will be a generation of some different kind of surface. Okay, this may sound like an ellipse, but it will be a surface. It will be a 3D image, and which has to be generated. And it's not necessary that every time we are going to cut that or intersect intersect the cone in this angle only. It can be intersected in any angle. So number of different types of ellipses can be generated as the cut of that particular solid material or solid shape. So these curve generations are uncertain, and we are expected to deal with this. So how to go for it, that we are going to see in the. So there are two things which we are going to see are the curves and surfaces. The small theory behind that is the world around us is full of objects of remarkable shapes. Different shapes are available, and we need to deal with that. Nevertheless, in computer graphics, we continue to populate the virtual world into the flat objects, and we need to persist it properly. So for which we are going to see these two topics, that is curves and surfaces. Curves are for 2 dimension and surfaces are for 3 dimension. I'll give you the image. When we need to define these, we already have dealt with two things. The curved surfaces, those are the ellipse, it can be of any dimension, and a circle. So basically we were dealing with curves here, but the curves in circle are very certain, okay. They are just center is defined and R is defined, and these curves are going to get generated. What thing will be changing is the center or radius. But every point on the circle will be equidistant from the every point on the circle will be equidistant from the center, which may not be the case in ellipse, but to some extent it can be defined with a major and minor axis. And thus we are getting a liberty to get ellipse in different shapes or different sizes, like this, or it can be like this also. So number of depending on the major and minor axis size, but still it has to be defined with two parameters, that is major, semi-major and semi-minor axis, and we can generate that curve with a parametric equation. Okay, but in case, so here curves means what? We are going to have bends. It is going to take a particular curvical path. So we can have a bend, but what if the bends go very sharp? Bends go very sharp. I'm having this bend, and it may go this way. This is also an acceptable image. This is also an acceptable image. So if the bends are very sharp, curvatures are high curvatures are there, we have a rapid gradient change which may be unpredictable. Here at least it is predictable. One particular path will be followed, but here if I am drawing a curve, it may not follow any path. Sharp gradient changes will be there, and for this we need to deal with sphere and cone. If they are intersecting with each other, basically circle, this is a 2D one. Okay, so 2D, this circle can be 3-dimensional also. It will become a sphere. It will become a sphere. So if the things like circle, sphere or cone or cylinder are intersecting with the 2D plane, they may generate any form. They may generate any form. So that's what we are going to see here. So to deal with these three things, we are generating a. So here you can see, sorry, I just erase this out. So here we have this circle or line. This line is also a curve, but it is following a particular path, and it is very easy to draw this. But if that line gets changed to parabola, it is also a set of points. It is also a set of points, okay, the parabola. But it is defined with certain equation. Parabola has an equation, but it is a curve. So we are going to consider this as a curve. Similarly, hyperbola can also be a curve. So this kind of curves, some curves are possible for us to define. Ellipse and circle are here also are considered as curves. These are the regular curves. These are the parametric curves, whereas these kind of curves are non-parametric curves. We don't know to what extent it is going. It may be a sinusoidal wave or cosine wave or something like that. It may be any shape it can take. Okay, so the curves, these are the curves, and next are the surfaces. So I said already, curves are the curves are 2D, and these are the surfaces which are 3D. We need to paint this. In animation, it is possible that a single flat surface, the flat surface may take this shape with some changing parameters, may take this shape, or even this shape. In animations, if we are just seeing a flag or a cloth waving, at that moment it may the same object may be regenerated as a surface of different kind. Or here also, this kind of surfaces can be generated. So surfaces will be 3-dimensional, and curves will be 2-dimensional. So we are going to see how to deal with this. What is the analogy which we can follow, or what is a particular path? See, ultimately we need to put it in a particular way. If I am talking about a line, what is a line? Line is nothing but a set of continuous points. Set of continuous points. These points are starting from the point A to B. All points drawn one by one are going to collectively draw a line. That's what our understanding about a line is. Okay. So ultimately, what is a curve? If this is a line, and from A to B it is moving, I will start with A, I will end with B, and go on drawing one point at a time and going to generate a line. We have already did it with the help of DDA and Bresson-Hans. So in this way, with a particular slope, a line is generated. Or even if we know A and B, we are going to just follow the path from A to B and generate a line. So can I say that a curve is also a collection of points? I can say that. Curve is also a collection of points. Go on drawing the points one by one, and you will be able to generate a curve. Okay. In this way, we can generate a curve. But what way the next point to be generated? Every time while drawing line also or while drawing circle also, we are just bothered about the previous point. We have a previous point and we will be going for the next point. Whereas in this also we just need to bother about the previous point and the next point to be generated. What should be the next point? Thus the entire path will be generated. These curves are mainly useful in drawing real world objects, graphs, generating the data and all. Okay, so we can model the curve with few things. One is the data point, second is the interpolating data points, and third is the approximating curve. These are the three things which we need to take care of. Means these are the data points given. These dots are there are the guiding points for the curve. In other words, they can also be called as control points. They can also be called as control points. Okay. So it is expected that any curve which is drawn with the help of this must fall onto it or nearby to it. Okay. So if I am taking this as the first point, I can generate a curve this way, or other possibilities. I can generate a curve in this way for the same control points. We can go for one more. This kind of curve. So same data points can generate number of curves. So these data points are known as control points of that particular curve. Second thing is because only data points cannot decide how the curve is going to work on. We will have to also define interpolating data points. Interpolating data points are the points which lie exactly on the curve. Here you can observe. I'll just erase this previous other possible curves. You can find here this one, and this one. These 3 points are lying exactly on the curve, so these are called as interpolating curve. That also will have to define, because defining only data points is not going to define the curve, as we have seen that number of possible curves can be generated. Whereas interpolating will tell me exactly which point the curve must pass. Okay, and third thing is the approximating curve, which can be defined with the help of blending function. With the help of blending function, or also called as spline of the curve. So these two things we'll see what are these. So this approximating curve or the blending function or spline function will tell you how much curve, how much distance it should have, a maximum possible distance or minimum possible distance it can have. Like I will start this curve this way, and it is also possible to go this way. Okay, so there is a distance, more distance between these two. So the blending function is going to define this way. or even from here it can go this way. So this distance, how much curvature it should take and how fast, how rapid it should take, that will be defined with the help of approximating curve. So if I try to model a curve, three things we need to know. One is the data point near which, or these are the control points near which the curve is going to get generated. Interpolating points, which are the points through which the curve is going to pass, and the approximation function, which will decide, which will tell you how much gradient, how much curvature that particular curve must take. So this way the curve can be modeled, and we will see now the characteristics of curve and the types of curve. So when we talk about generating a curve, are just lots of small straight lines joined up. If I am talking about this curve to be generated, it will be like it can be treated as small segments, small line segments which are joined together. Maybe further smaller if the sharp edges are there, but I assume that from this point to this point the line happens to be straight, and thus all the straight lines are joined together to get a curve. The more points or line segments that are used, the smoother will be the curve. The same curve can be generated in this way. So more number of edges, more number of points, smoother will be the curve. More points, and there are two methods of generating a curve. One is called as interpolation method, second is called as approximation method. In interpolation, we expect that the curve must pass through every data point. Just now we have seen the image. In interpolation, we expect that the curve must pass through each data point, whereas in approximation, we take those data points as control points. Okay, so like here, I can say that, okay, this is a curve. So we are going to have points, and it is expected that the curve must pass through every point. Whereas the same curve can be defined with the help of a different approximation in this way. Like we are going to generate a approximation frame like this. Let us say that P1, P2, P3 and P4, where all of them are function of u. Okay, this is going to hold value of u as 0, this is going to hold value of u as 1, and the curve lie between 0 to 1. But this green portion is the guiding polygon for this curve. Of course, it will be closed. Guiding polygon for it, and it is also called as convex hull. We will come to this. It is also called as convex hull. So a guiding polygon will be there, and the equation u is going to hold some value. Depending on that, this distance will be approximated. Okay, so this is called as the approximation curve, whereas in interpolation we expect that every line must be the part of every point must be the part of curve. It should pass through every curve. So defining this kind of curve is little difficult, because number of points the data generated will be huge, but this is also not easy because we need to maintain the blending functions which will be using the parametric equation of a curve. What is the parametric equation of curve? That we will see. It will be guided with a variable, of course, and the parametric equation is going to work something like this. There are two types of equations, parametric and non-parametric. Non-parametric means defining all the points or defining all the segments, line segments, which will be the part of curve. So there is no need of any parameter. Whereas in parametric type, we have three expressions where x, y, z all are defined with as a function of u, where we have a u max to u mean value or vice versa. We trace out the curve in 2 or 3 dimensions in this way. Okay, so where the starting point is going to have u minimum value, as I said, 0, and u max value as the last point. And meanwhile, with the help of all these points will be again function of u, which will define the xy coordinate of that particular point. Okay, so this is the parametric equation of your curve. With this parametric equation, definitely we can define number of curves. So this is this can illustrate it properly, the approximation and interpolation. We can say that the interpolation function fits given data points exactly. In every data point, from every data point, the curve is going to cross. Interpolation is inappropriate if data points subject to the significant error. If they have a huge distance, the arc may not be curved. Okay, and approximation is usually a preferable for smoothing the noisy data. So we generally consider here you can see that the points are same. The points here are same, but the curves which are defined are absolutely different. Okay, it's a waveform and it's a simple parabolic form. So that's the difference between these two. So here also I can draw this kind of curve with this. So it is so that's why we are not sure what will be the kind of curve we are going to get generated. But here we are approximating it as per the data points which are defined. So it is compulsory for us to follow the control points and use the approximation function. Depending on the approximation function, the wave is going to get generated. So what are the characteristics of a curve? Okay, the curve must be smooth. Curve must be smooth. This cannot be considered as a curve. Okay, it should have a proper smoothness. It should have a proper smoothness every time. Okay, there must be a degree of continuity. Here I have taken the deeper side, or it can be of this type also. Okay, this degree of continuity will be the part of expression which we are defining for designing the curve. We must have control points to define that curve. Control points has to be there, and more number of control points will give you the better and smoother curves. But maintaining too large amount of or number of control points will not be helpful, because the data handling will be a problem in this case. We must have a spline. A spline means, just now I said, okay, so if there is a this is a kind of spline we are going to define. The frame through which because defining this is easy. If I am defining this, see, there are points depending on which I am going to define the curve. Okay, so a frame is defined, and if the spline is different, little different, okay, for these points only, if I am defining the spline in this way, if I am defining the spline in this way, it will be a different curve generated. Okay, the curve generated will be like this. So defining a spline is easy as compared to defining a curve. So we will define a spline, and the curve is going to take curvatures depending on that spine. And with the help of and blending functions, you can define the distance through which the curve must pass. And lastly, the blending functions. Blending function is going to define the smoothness, or we can say the gradient through which it should take a change, and depending on the spline value or a U section. Okay, so this is about the basics of curves. In the next lecture, we will see what are the different types of curves. Thank you.